Alright. I started a Dooley run and I saw the core and I thought, I want to try to have a run where I actually think about what I'm doing on this. So, what the heck am I doing? I'm just trying to search for items that are worth charging. That's pretty much the entire game plan. Whatever, find an item that's worth charging and then find items that will help me charge it. Between these, is there anything worth charging? You could argue the silk scarf could be worth charging in the future if I invest a lot of resources into it to make it scale. Other than that, the bananable duct tape is not something I care about charging, and the fang also isn't worth charging. Now, am I going to skip a chance at duct tape or a chance at the fang or a chance at the silk scarf, even though I don't really like? I feel like the silk scarf is the worst out of those three, right? So I feel like the duct tape would be the best simply because if I can find any shield skill on my upgrade, on my level up skill, then I'll have a very decent chance at winning day one. So that's why we click bananable here. I think that there's no chance I click anything else other than bananable, no matter what the other options were. Believe it or not, the best part of bananable is he has no skills. So, because you don't really want a skill that you can just taking a bronze skill is not really that great. So I guess there's a upside and downside. The upside is if you take a bronze skill and it's one that you don't really care about, it means that it will not be in the pool of skills when you eventually get to level, I'm not sure if it's 9, 8, 11, 12. It's probably level 12 that offers you a diamond skill, I believe. And it will filter out any skills you already have that are not, well, any that are not monster skills, basically. Anyway, I'm going to Midsworth. This is an insane shop. You might question why I purchased the duct tape upgrade. It's because I think a 2-second slow is decent. Right, we even got a shield skill.
You picked that up quickly. Maybe I'm getting better at this.
So, I'm down an item, but I have a lot of shielding. I have a small amount of damage scaling. I have a lot of charges coming into my core. There's no real incentive to charge the Alpha Ray. The only incentive I'd have is if I say I don't care about charging the core, then I would try to charge the duct tape. Like, let's say I didn't have the Alpha Ray. I mean, it's very awkward actually. I'd have to be like this. If I just... No, that makes no sense. Ignore what I'm saying. This is the positioning. The idea would have just been charge... I was about to say to charge the duct tape, but the duct tape, it would just be for the slow. That's not really what I care about. I care only about the shield at the moment. My opponent has better damage scaling than me, very slightly. Or not. Actually, I think my damage scaling is better here. Just because my core is... So it is 3 instead of 2, but my core should have been used way more. Okay, it was not used way more. So it was... Their damage scaling probably was better, but I had shielding, which was just way stronger. Okay, I have 12 gold. I could go XP, but I would much rather visit Andy. I don't mind upgrading Uzi. I don't mind getting barbed wire when I have a duct tape. And getting barbed wire early means now I can go to Rogue Scrapper for a chance at getting the barbed wire upgrade. And then by doing that, when I end up going to Eccentric Etherite, I've removed the barbed wire from the pool. Anyway, I'm not going to spend gold rolling here. This board is already fine. So now I'm just going to stock up on more gold and XP. And fight the Rogue Scrapper. So I have a very, like, tunnel-visioned game plan here. And it's not consistent at all. Like, I could easily just not hit the barbed wire and then kind of regret visiting this, but ultimately it's fine. Okay, so I didn't get the barbed wire, but that was not surprising at all. I'm just gonna go for an item. Weak point detector is not too bad. If I want, I could play it right of core. Between these, I'm just gonna go for the XP. And I'm also just gonna go for the risky option here. So the whole thought process at this point is just, my board is not bad at all. So I am perfectly fine just sending this straight into combat. They have an ignition core and a flamethrower, so I'm a little scared. But I believe my duct tape should carry. Unless their brick buddy is stronger than it looks. I do not think it is as strong. I think it is as strong as it looks, which means it's not strong. Now, if they had a duct tape, maybe I would have been a little bit scared. Because if they were able to shield as much as I did, then I probably lose that to the burn. Okay. Once again, we have Andy, and I have so much gold. I cannot skip him. Okay. These items are not great. Also, I was saying earlier, way earlier, find an item to charge. This is an item to charge because it will scale the damage on my other items. I could consider also charging the barbed wire. I did not do that in my previous fight, but since this is a ton of damage due to the duct tape, I do have incentive to charge it. Now, these items, if I were to pivot to railgun, these items are viable to charge. But that is not true while they are at silver. Also, this one, not so much. Only the capacitor. If I get the capacitor to diamond, so it's at 5 seconds, maybe I use, if I dare, if I have a feather, I wouldn't use an insect wing on it. But if I had a feather, I wouldn't mind reducing this cooldown now and then hopefully coming across an upgrade to it eventually. But this would go right of core, and it would probably either charge the core or charge whatever tech items are beside it to the right of the core. Now that's a bit of a long shot because it involves me purchasing this, finding a feather, finding upgrades to get this to diamond, and finding a railgun, and finding other tech items. I mean, that's a lot of those are not as far-fetched as you'd think.
This must be a big decision for someone like you.
Andy is really mean. Anyway, I don't think it's worth purchasing if I can't play it right now, right? So I'm gonna have to pass. Maybe if I find it later at gold, I would consider it. This, however, is worth holding. The light bulb is good at any tier, pretty much. Middle, if I wanted to fish for an upgrade to the weak point detector, I could go here. I could also look for Armadillo there, but I want to try to go for the risky option again. Well, the idea was, since I missed it the first time, maybe I'll make up for missing it by getting it the second time, but since I failed twice, I kind of feel obligated to try it at the next opportunity. Because I feel like I need to hit it at least once in order to be ahead on tempo.
Turn the lights off when you leave.
Okay, what would I upgrade here? It's not going to be the Alpha Ray. Is it going to be a weak point detector? It's, if I'm upgrading something, it's Alpha Ray or weak point detector. That's a guarantee. We're gonna try Alpha Ray. It's weaker this patch, but it'll last a little while. I know you might hear about how people are against upgrading items that they are going to get rid of eventually, but it's not bad to upgrade items you're going to get rid of eventually, because you still need to survive until you find something to pivot to later. Okay. Anyway, I have 2 slots I need to fill in. I think what I'd like is 1 more item to put left of core, which could just be this light bulb. So now I'd like to charge 1 more item, I think. So what would be an item that Kina could offer that I would like to charge? A ray, an omega ray or gamma ray would be okay. I would be open to that. Am I going to skip on 150 health to look for one of those 2 rays? Or maybe anything else? Yes. Okay, this could have been a gold capacitor. I'm still gonna skip it, right? Or no? I won't, actually. I'm gonna consider it. If I don't find anything else, I'll even put it on the board to the right of core. Okay, we found a ray. I know it doesn't do anything, but other than scale itself, but it also activates the alpha ray passive. And that's not bad. Now, this omega ray, sorry, this is the omega ray. This plasma grenade synergizes with weak point detector, but it's only a one-time thing. But it might, it basically what this, the only value that this has is it uses the weak point detector at least once, at most 3 times. So this item after 8 seconds can give my weapons anywhere from 3 to 9 damage. That's not that great. So we're gonna pass. I don't mind visiting Ayla. My board is like fine though, but I feel like
But I can help you finish
we can make it better. And this item is not bad because I have 2 rays that synergize with it. The power drill is not unreasonable, but I don't think I have enough synergy right now. Okay, so I'm happy with this board. Let's try it out. 2 rays on the core with a flamethrower versus a spiky shield. He has a lot of healing, but I have burn scaling. Okay, this flamethrower is really or sorry. Have I been calling the rocket launcher a flamethrower this whole time? I always do that. I get mixed up between flamethrower and rocket launcher, and I get mixed up between pulse rifle and power drill. Anyway, this felt really strong, but also my opponent was kind of slow. But anyway, so I've always thought rocket launcher was weak ever since they removed the double damage passive, but it somehow it still felt really strong. We'll see though. Maybe it's just because it's early game that it feels strong. Anyway, Aerodrome or JJ? I'm gonna try Aerodrome first. This at least allows me to get some money. Sure, I'll take a rocket launcher. Not the plasma rifle though, and I will start selling off some of these. I think I want to hold the capacitor. I'm not gonna roll. I know he could offer me a railgun potentially. You know what? Yeah, it's actually worth just like for the chance at finding a railgun. Now, would I go for the chance at finding a railgun over a skill? I do not think so. And this skill is fantastic. This skill is also decent. So we want right-handed on the rocket launcher. So this will move over here. And because we have a duct tape, the flame juggler is not an issue. What I should consider is removing the barbed wire now. It's no longer important. And maybe I just put it left of core. Maybe I find a battery to use on the rocket launcher. I want to put this burn on the rocket launcher. I'm not going to hold the the cinders for a potential fiery enchant. Because of my XP, I'm gonna skip Andy here to go for the risky option. This is the third attempt. Hopefully I'm lucky. No. So we failed 3 of those escort to convoys, unfortunately. Now, so I said I was going to put this on the left side, but I also said I would like to find a battery. I do not believe Tox Clocks sells battery. So instead, what I'm going to do is this. The capacitor is going to charge the rocket launcher sometimes. I'm going to gamble that that's as good as the barbed wire so that I may sell it and go for the expensive chocolate. Now, I'm very poor, but the gamble here is that I need the health for this fight, since I failed to reach the level up breakpoint, since I was not offered so 2 out of 3 of the risky options did not even give me XP. So if I had even just gotten the XP out of 2 of them, then I would have been level 6, which is kind of unfortunate. So yeah, unfortunately, even with the health, it wasn't enough. So maybe... So this capacitor barely did anything. Maybe... So I'm just looking at the amount of uses the rocket launcher got. If I could have put the rocket launcher next to the duct tape, somehow it's no, because in order to do that, it either means I would have to play like this, and then I'm not charging the core, which means I'm not scaling the rocket launcher as much, or alternatively, it means it'd be on this side, and then I'm not charging the rocket launcher, so it's not being used as much, even if it's scaling more. This line could be a thing if I had a battery, but I think I'm still gonna stick with this one and just accept that this loss was because I was not able to level up. And maybe it's my fault. Maybe I'm supposed to not press the risky option. Like maybe this run is doomed to never actually give me a favorable favorable outcome from the mountain pass. Anyway, I am looking for a weapon. Race Carl is not really what I was looking for. Trash Town Mare is alright. I guess what I at least could look at is if the light bulb is being used than the core, more than the core. They're about the same. Okay, we got augmented weaponry. That changes things a little bit, doesn't it? Because now I'm definitely just going to spam these. Let's try it. Surely... Well, okay. It's either I've learned my lesson and I press this to guarantee to level up, or I like, what is this, quadruple down and say that surely this time I get offered a PvP? Well, it's XP, so I still level up. Now, here, I want to try upgrading the Alpha Ray again. Is there anything else I should be going for? Like, maybe I want to go for Sharp Corners. I could see myself going for Sharp Corners. Or Firepower. I think I'll try to fish for those.
We're a good team.
I know Creeping Chill is okay, but I want to get something even better, so... Defense Grid or Defensive Stance? I'm gonna say Defensive Stance is better when I have Duct Tape.
Let's both keep learning. Maybe
So I think that was worth.
each other.
An undefeated Vanessa, but I have augmented weaponry, so
Not to squabble.
I feel favored here. They have a Cove, which has only 18. That's not a big deal. They have 20% crit on Lanction. That is a little bit scary. But I have a ton of shield, so even if it hits me for 1,000, I'm not concerned.
You've got talent. You should put it toward nobler use.
So this got used 9 times instead of 4, so we missed out on 5. Duct tape procs, kinda, maybe less because of the whole thought process I had gone through earlier, where if I moved a rocket launcher, I am getting less uses out of the rocket launcher. Anyway, I think I'd like to... okay, what I'm about to say is I'd like to commit to the rocket launcher instead of trying to get railgun. But I don't even believe that. I think I'd still take railgun if I could afford it. The problem is if it's gold, I will not be able to afford it. Because I only have 11 after selling Race Carl. I would need to sell the rocket launcher as well. And to get to 13. So 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I'd have to sell everything except for duct tape, because duct tape is like one of the most important items I have at the moment. And that can't be worth, right? So instead I go to Aerodrome. Well, now I have to, right? I'm not rolling, I'm not clicking, I'm just leaving. Between these, I'm going to take the free chocolate because it's plus 5 damage. I'm not going to use it right now. I'm not going to fight the Lich. Or am I? Like, I get a decent amount of burn. The problem is my health is too low, right? So I can't... Unless I'm... If I'm able to get the burn to like 200 burn stacked, then I could potentially win. If you combine the amount of damage the rocket launcher will be doing with the burn. This would be doing... So let's say this gets to attack. This activates 3 times, so it gets 9 attacks off. That's 50 times 9. It's only 450, but then there's a little bit of scaling in there, so let's say it's like 500 or 550. Let's be optimistic. Let's say this gets to do 600 damage with its red red damage. Then with the orange damage, let's say it applies like let's say by the time it attacks, maybe the burn is at like 10. That's way too much, right? Really only like 6, maybe. Then we do 6 times 3, and then the next time it attacks, maybe it's gonna be like 12. 6 times 3, then 12 times 3, and then 18 times 3. That might end up being 100 burn, and then plus a little bit more from this, like maybe 120 burn. But their regen is gonna negate half of that burn. So it's not enough. We're too slow. That's the main takeaway. So let's just go to the trash golem. I was right. It was at 12. Okay. Okay. We have gumballs offered. And this item's also not even that bad. I could play Rainbow Potion instead of the capacitor. Just throw it over here. It does a decent amount. Because we're offered gumballs, I have to sell some of these. The only regret would have been, yeah, so that's the main reason why I hold these off. The other reason is in case I see Grandmaster. And if I saw Grandmaster, I'd be looking for the augmented weaponry upgrade before I start selling those things off. At this point, even Capacitor is out, because I don't think I'm going to be pivoting back to the... or not back to, I never saw the Railgun, but I don't think I'll be pivoting to Railgun at this point.
Is it because I talk too slow?
I'm definitely going for gold tier skill. Rightmost burn, that means I can flip these and give the rocket launcher a ton of burn. And this should be decent. So I'm just curious about what the Rainbow Potion's gonna hit. I'm hoping it hits the Regal Blade. It was too late. It hit the flail. That's not so bad.
Next time I'll show you what I learned from this.
Not bad. Okay, I have a decent amount of gold saved up, so I should go here and see what enchanted shield items get offered since I have defensive stance. Well, that's something. It does synergize with rocket launcher. It's just... it doesn't fit on the board. Unless I could get rid of... I guess I could try getting rid of the light bulb and the rainbow potion for it. Why not? Let's try it. I'm not gonna roll. Between these, I'm just gonna go for the free chocolate again. I'd still like to kind of save some gold. I'm not gonna use them right now because I don't feel like I need to. And I'm just gonna go for the treasure turtle. So let's see, how often does this power drill end up getting used? The answer is not that much. But I do get a decent amount of shielding. So it's half as much as the Uzi. So it's not worth keeping. I'll visit Andy.
I would never debase my wares by haggling.
So the power drill is not worth keeping. There is an unless that I'm trying to wait for. That unless would be if I find a metronome and then I can do something with Race Carl and power drill. Bomb squad. I don't have friends in my build or in real life. But okay, I didn't have to say that. It's silly. But there's no reason to buy Bomb Squad even though he synergizes with Power Drill. It's not gonna work. Alpha Ray upgrade on the other hand is definitely worth. Hamlet. If I found an enchantment, I could consider him, but right now I cannot. I'd rather go for item than loot, I believe. Unless, I mean, if this is cooldown, no, I'm wrong. Loot is better here. Since I have a win condition item, I'd like to improve that win condition item in any way I can. Okay, this is something I guess I didn't consider. The rocket launcher, while it having burn is good, it's not like, you know what, I'm curious about what the fiery enchant on the rocket launcher does. Okay, it does. The fiery enchant makes it behave like other items, other weapons that have the fiery enchant, which is good. Anyway, surely this time, finally. So I didn't find anything better. I wonder if the turtle shell is better than the power drill. Let's try it. It only got used twice. The power drill got used half as much as the Uzi. This got used less than half. So the power drill would have been used more. It would have shielded for more. So this is not worth having on the board. The power drill is definitely better. Feather is excellent. Okay. So I feel a little concerned about my build right now at this point. This is the point in the game where it starts falling off. However, my opponent here has a very weak board. So it's not falling off here.
Bring her about! I've got another salvo with me.
Yeah, like I said, this is used half as frequently as the Uzi. Monster Ranch I like better than Kina here. Okay, Cinders versus Feather or XP. I'm just gonna do the Feather. Not gonna sell it yet. I think between these, I just take the temporary boost. And I'm still not gonna use the Feather. What I am going to do is go for incendiary rounds. Oh, he also has a rocket launcher. I didn't even think about that. Pop Snappers is alright. Okay, so an interesting thing I could do here is I could enchant this feather. It would make it reduce the cooldown of all my items by 12% instead of 6%. And that is not bad, right? Do I think that the restorative enchantment on the rocket launcher would be better? Not really. Would I take a random enchantment? Maybe fiery, maybe deadly, poison, shielded. I feel best about this. Unless there's a different... No, I feel best about this. What I can do is wait for a bit in case I want to reduce a different item's cooldown. Although, like maybe even the pop snappers, I don't know. The turtle shell is not going to see play, unfortunately. So now I can go for gold chocolate. Okay. We have the artist again. That makes this even more interesting. So now I get to actually look at the rocket launcher enchantments versus the pop snapper versus the core and determine what I want. I also would just have to think, how would I put pop snapper on the board? Maybe pop snapper is not one of the options. Let's pretend I didn't mention that one. So core versus rocket launcher. Rocket launcher has heavy, which is 2 for 1, icy 1 for 1, turbo 2 for 1, shielded and restorative and toxic and fiery are all obvious. Shiny is fine. Okay, versus the core, which has slow 1 for 4, freeze 1 for 2, haste 1 for 4, and the shield, heal, poison, fiery, and shiny are like the rest are all obvious. I am going to do the rocket launcher.
Hello, old friend. Pleased to meet you.
Okay, we got shielded. That certainly allows me to remove the power drill if I thought I had something better, but I don't. What it also allows me... Nah, there's no allowing here. I'm just selling this because I should. So now my board is fast. I feel like the power drill is going to be used a lot more frequently now. We'll see. So we're against the pig. I should not have held the pop snappers there. I should have sold it for sure. Okay, fixer upper with subscraper. No enchantments, at least, versus me with 2 enchantments. That's a bit odd.
Well, I'll admit, that was
What did this pig do? I'm confused by how they got this far. But anyway, now you can see the power drill was used more than half as frequently as the Uzi. And it's because the rocket launcher's cooldown is less, the core's cooldown is less, power drill's less. So the rocket launcher gets charged more often, which means the power drill is receiving charge more often. That's the gist of it. Okay, we see a Grandmaster. I'm definitely going here. And I will definitely take defensive stance. I see Nufu, I click Nufu. None of these are good. When you use a tool, items adjacent to it gain 3% crit chance. Well, I don't have crit synergy. Flashy Pilot could work if I use Race Carl somehow. Race Carl only sees play if I find a metronome. In that scenario, I'm not sure what leaves the board. I guess because of augmented weaponry, I could get rid of the Alpha Ray, and then because of defensive stance, I could get rid of duct tape. Because it means the shields will still receive scaling. Then I'd have to remove one more thing. And I don't think the answer is the Uzi, so would I remove the Omega Ray as well? Maybe? And then put a metronome here? In order to use Flashy Pilot. That would be how we do it. The alternative is 10 gold. I think I should take it. I shouldn't skip it. I don't know. I think I skip it. I think I just take the 10 gold. How do I feel about these? I'm just gonna go for the golden XP. I could have went for the Blood Reef Captain if I wanted to fish for the skill, or I wouldn't even be able to tell you what else, to be honest. Another thing to consider, if I get the cloak here, I could put the cloak on the rocket launcher. Okay, no cloak means I'm not going to finish that thought. Fortis or Simon. I'm going to go for No, I'm going to go for Fortis for sharp corners.
Some forge boss say I hide behind my shields. But victory is victory.
First 5 times you burn, charge 1 shield item for 1 second. That means if I remove these two, I can make the rocket launcher charge itself. So the first time it gets used, it charges itself for 3. So it goes 5 seconds into it gets used again after 2 more seconds. That's not bad, right? I mean, I was hoping to skip power drill anyway, and the duct tape has fallen off at this point thanks to the shield enchantment. So I'm gonna try to see if I can make this work.
Here's you. Shield goes
Temp
in the
boost versus Andy.
right?
I think here I have to go to Andy.
Size dilutes the brain. Mine.
Okay, we found another ray. That's amazing.
Diamonds come in small boxes.
A nitro is also amazing. So
5 gift wrap it for you.
this goes here, this goes here. And we have one more space. I'm trying to decide if I should take the cog. I know I'm hovering the virus, but I'm really looking at the cog. So why cog? It'll haste something. If I put it to the right of the core, it'll haste the rocket launcher, but the rocket launcher is being charged, so that's not that important. We're gonna just leave. Kina is great, but so are gumballs. I think the play is pop snappers. And then if I think it's gonna be a long fight, I'll throw duct tape in instead. Bandages isn't happening. This is probably not a difficult fight. They have a turbo runic double bow and a heavy electric eels. Okay, so how did that feel? We did use the rocket launcher a lot early, but that's not very powerful. The whole point is that we need to scale the rocket launcher a bit before we use it, right? So maybe that's not a good play after all. I do think the gamma ray is still okay, but maybe... So let's say we have nitro on the board as well. No gamma ray. No duct tape, but power drill here. So now we have a ton of things charging the drill. I'm also going temp boost for damage. Finally, a monster fight. Let's see what this looks like. Also, I'm scaling the burn on nitro. The reason for this is I have a ton of shield, so the burn doesn't really matter. So is the power drill being used more than the Uzi? That is always going to be the question. The answer is it's close. Between these... Okay, so it seems the diamond skill is a level 14 thing, I guess. Or is it level 15? I'm going for the gold loot. Medkit is useless. Veteran octopus is alright. It looks like it's almost even with the Uzi. I think it got used 1 or 2 times less. 1 time less, so that's not bad at all. This skill is alright. 10% crit, it's not bad. Okay. I think at this point, I'm just gonna go for skills instead of upgrades. I don't need more shielding, do I? There's no way. I feel like I need something better. Or just different. Flashy pilot at gold. I still don't have haste, so I'm not going to be able to use race car all much. However, Hotspot means the drill is now going to be used a ton. And now we have a fiery drill. Unless I want to do fiery rocket launcher. I think fiery drill is better. So this makes things very interesting. I'm definitely putting this on something. I just have to decide what. I keep saying drill because if I put it on the drill is going to be a machine gun. It's going to charge itself. It's going to charge itself again because of hotspot. It's going to, so that means its effective cooldown goes down to 4.3. It's going to be charged a ton thanks to the rocket launcher and nitro. So there's a lot of like potential overcharge going on. Removing the shielded enchant means that we're getting charges on the rocket launcher again. It enables me to remove one or both of these. Shoot. It has to be this. I can't convince myself not to put it on this. Because what's gonna happen now is the power drill is going to be stronger than the flamethrower. So there's a world where I get rid of the flamethrower at this point. I don't see myself keeping Gamma Ray, and the medkit also I'm not gonna hold. I'm just full selling. So like I was saying before, previously, the power drill was around equal to the Uzi. Now it... Oh shoot, I'm just dead. This is just a rigged difference, unfortunately. That's unfortunate. Was I overhyping the power drill? Or did something else happen? It was going. What did I remove? I didn't remove anything, right? I just enchanted it. And then like changed the positioning. It's fine. I still have 2 more days. Or 3 more days. None of those are good. What do I think about this pendulum? So I would have 52% crit on the drill. It's not going to get charged enough unless I put it to the right of the core, which I could do. So I would get rid of nitro and at this point probably the omega ray as well. Put this here. This also enables me if I wanted to get Flashy Pilot. If I had taken Flashy Pilot, I mean, I could have played the Carl here. Still gonna go for the scaling from augmented weaponry. At this point now, this should go to 15 burn. After I sell one of these things. I don't want to sell it yet though. I have to determine if this pendulum is worth. Okay, it's worth. My whole board got hasted. Okay, so it was at 14 that you get the diamond skills. 20% crit is great. Yeah, nothing else really to say there. 20% crit is indeed great. Between these, I'm gonna go for the small item. Grandmaster is great. I'd value the damage over the shielding, since damage is shielding anyway. And I'm just gonna send it. I'm gonna get rid of all of these. Just send it with this board. Spiky shield fixer upper. It's a slow spiky shield, but I'm not getting through the shield, am I? I guess it's a matter of if he can get through my shield, not if I can get through his. So this is a shielded fixer-upper and a heavy balcony. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, I really did only need this as my shield item. Gave me plenty, and they still did equal burn pretty much. Probably because this one has multicast. They were used an equal amount of times, which means this activated 3 times as much. He had 73 from augmented defenses versus my 74, even though his is silver and mine is bronze. Okay. I see gumballs. Do I take them? Even though I'm kind of poor? I don't think so. I'm going to take the XP. When there's a free option, though, I will take the free option. And I'm using the chocolates because I want to go to the Void Colossus, and I'm worried I might not be able to kill it fast enough. Okay, well, I killed it faster than I expected. Still doing the loot, and can I get to level 16? It's not looking like it unless I see the, what's it called? The suspicious guy? Shady guy? Shrouded figure. This guy. Gives me enough to level up, which enables me to get another skill. Frozen Shot. I gotta say, freeze is freeze, right? I am not gonna say no to freeze. It's a Vanessa. I'm not concerned here. I feel like my only weakness is if they destroy some of my items. Shiny Trebuchet, Shiny Fang, Icy Revolver.
Like my crew says at the bar, another round.
So, what was really interesting about their build was that when you use an ammo item, haste. So whenever you use an ammo item, you charge the trebuchet. The only problem is they didn't have enough ammo synergy, but they had a line where they could go infinite with the trebuchet and pistol sword, I think. Somehow. Or just the pistol sword going infinite with other ammo items could have led to the trebuchet popping off. I guess the only way that'd really be possible is if they had... I don't actually think there is an infinite possible with those. They would have needed like flashy reload and a bunch of crit. And then the dagger that gets used when you crit with another item. Anyway. Okay, so the rocket launcher did make it to the end of the run. And the power drill snuck into the build with a shield enchant that got changed into a fiery enchant. Oh shoot. So that was not bad. The pendulum was also a massive find. So yeah, another interesting run.